Good day, dear ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to say thank you to our partners Riga Airport for this chance to be part of Riga Aviation Forum this year. My name is Vitaly Andreev. I'm General Director of Atran Airlines, which currently operates 737 freighters in Russia and also part of Volga-Dnieper Group. I would like to explain and to tell you about the current situation as our vision on COVID-19 factors and their evaluation and impact to air cargo industry. So first of all, I would like to make a brief introduction about Volga-Dnieper Group itself. So Volga-Dnieper Group consists 3 airlines based in Russia: Volga-Dnieper Airlines, Airbridge Cargo, and Atran. Also, we have a strategic partnership in Europe with Cargologic Air based in United Kingdom and Cargologic Germany based in Germany, Leipzig. As for statistics, Volga-Dnieper Group, #1 in worldwide in carriage unique and oversized cargo with using Antonov 124 and Evolution 76 fleet, and also Airbridge Cargo, #1 in Russia as cargo carrier. So if we are talking about Volga-Dnieper consistence, as I mentioned, we have 3 airlines based in Russia. It's Airbridge Cargo and Atran, which is fully dedicated for scheduled cargo operations, and Airbridge Cargo at this moment consists 17 aircrafts, Boeing 747 cargo configuration, and 5 aircraft 737, and Atran, which consists 5 aircraft 737 freighter configuration. Also, we have Volga-Dnieper Airlines, which is fully plays on cargo operations and consists at this moment 12 Antonov 124 aircrafts, which includes also 2 Antonov 124 with configuration with maximum payload 150 tons, and also 5 Evolution 76 in a fleet of Volga-Dnieper Airlines. As I mentioned, we have also cooperation with our strategic partners, Cargologic Germany with 737 freighters, 3 of them currently in the fleet, and Cargologic Air based in UK with 2 747-400. Also, we have supportive businesses, including maintenance, including special logistic services, tracking services within Russia, and also aviation insurance with the company Nick Insurance Company. As for our vision of current situation and going back to the past, I can show you this slide and explain about our vision, how COVID impacted to air cargo industry and what is potential, let's say, forecast for future. As I mentioned, it's our vision, so, and for sure, it's at this moment, as we fully understand, it's unpredictable situation from a point of now, because who knows, for example, in the beginning 2020, but this situation was so impacted on air cargo industry and also worldwide on business activity within all countries. As you can see on this slide, this is retrospective 2020 from January until end of this year, and blue line is actually let's say normal market for air freight carriage with, let's say, low season, mid season, high season, with small difference, not so big difference within the year. So normally we have from February until let's say April, it's kind of medium season. April till August, it was low season normally. From September until December and sometimes January, it was actually high season. But 2020 made a surprise to whole industry. Not in the beginning, but let's say from February. As we can see, from the beginning, 2020 was not so active as normal year. It was because of also inactive 2019, which was also not so usual for air industry, air freight industry. And we saw that 2019 was not so strong as normal year. In February, it was, let's say, first signal from China when Chinese New Year started. So, and after Chinese New Year, Chinese company was totally closed because of COVID-19 situation. And at the same time, we saw reducing yield, reducing demand with the same capacity, air capacity, including belly and all cargo airlines available on market. And this caused by several reasons, as I mentioned. So point number 2 is actually March, which we can see beginning of masks boom, when several countries, including Europe and United States, started to carry masks from China to destination country. And we see a bit increasing demand for this transportation, started from, let's say, third decade of March. And due to this situation, actually yield was increased and demand was increased because of carriage personal protective equipment. At the same time, it were already some restrictions from different countries in terms of passenger airlines operations. So it means belly capacity were not available at the same level as was in the beginning of this year. So that's why with increasing demand, yield was growing as well. So, and this situation with growing yield in demand, we see from March until at least end of June. But the peak was in the point number 3, when we can see really booming masks transportation, not only masks, but also including all personal protective equipment. And charters were actually as a top priority for all cargo airline. At the same time, the new definition like freighters was raised in aviation industry, and we will discuss about it a bit later, next slide. During this period of time, we see really big growth for yield, almost 2-3 times more than normal market. At the same time, we saw huge demand from different countries for transportation PPE. At the same time, as I mentioned, capacity dramatically low. So because of stop passenger activity and stop passenger normal operation. So this situation, as I mentioned, was until July, as for our experience. So, and July already, mask boom is close to the end already, because most of countries made decision to build own factory, own lines, to make masks, to make gloves, etc., etc. At the same time, the capacity from middle of May or middle of June had small increasing because of freighters and because starting of passenger airlines activity within this time. And actually August, where we are at this moment, yield, let's say it's closer to normal, let's say not low season, but normal to high season, for example, 2019. Demand, because of low season itself and low business activity, actually not so strong. So PPE already not needed because we have it in countries. So but capacity is still the same, including all cargo aircrafts, including freighters, including growing belly. Not so much, but anyway, it's situation for belly much better than in March, in April, in May, because now we see at least a small activity, business first of all, and also passengers activity. As for challenge, which we can see until end of this year, from August till October, tendency will be as normal. So it's, let's say, growing demand till November, but due to capacity shortage, yield will be higher than normal year. But at the same situation, we see two different scenarios after October, because October is normally, let's say, cold season, and potentially second wave of COVID will be raised again, and passenger airlines may be stopped again, and capacity again will be reduced, and only all cargo airlines will be available on market. So it's why potentially in case second wave, I think could be the same situation as was in April, in May, in June this year. So, but it's still unpredictable. And second reason for yield growing, it could be vaccine transportation. And this is also very important, and every airline should keep in mind this factor, because it's also could be raised price at least 2-3 times more than normal, and also charters will be also on top priority to transfer and to delivery vaccine to every country in the world within a short period of time. So this is our vision, how it could be. And also I would like to share some information about freighters and our vision on this, let's say, new definition. Freighters is actually something new in COVID era, and normally it's not normal to carry any cargo in passenger cabin, but not this year actually, and we see that even IATA released guidance for transportation of cargo and mail on aircraft actually configured for passengers. But we also see kind of impact for all cargo airlines in case classic passenger airlines will continue their expand with cargo fleets on market. Because in accordance to IATA forecast and also Boeing forecast, normal passenger market will not restore before 2024. So that's why passenger airlines, to keep their business and to diversify their business, will make some additional steps to step in air cargo industry with cargo fleet. And the main tendencies for this as well, because of strict regulation for passenger carriers, it means lower profit from this point of view. As for airlines, could be kind of bankruptcy and also government support, which could be not enough for some airlines. And also as a fleet, for fleet tendencies, we see continuous tendency for partially parked passenger fleet, at the same time potentially orders for cargo aircrafts, which is actually converted from passengers. And as for challenge for air cargo industry as well, it's classic PAX carriers explore opportunities to step in the air cargo market with cargo aircrafts. And we see also impact on cargo market itself because as a new players, as a new entrants, passenger airlines have to do something, let's say, abnormal for them to be on this market and to take this part of business, which is abnormal, I mean cargo. And for example, for price, we see potentially for damping strategy from passenger airlines and from new players. As for quality, as new niche for passenger airlines, I mean cargo, with cargo aircrafts, it's absolutely new, it's not Baileys. So it's why we need kind of some period of time to implement new procedure, which caused low quality on the initial stage. And for capacity, this is a question to think about it, which for me it's still unclear. Once passenger traffic will be restored after 2024, but still passenger airlines will have cargo aircrafts in their fleet. What's next? It was also internal competition. It will be more capacity than market expectation. So it's why, for me, it's still unclear question. And I also offer to think about it. As for our vision and our, let's say, steps which was made from February when we saw this impact from COVID factors, we rephrase, let's say, or rethink about our marketing strategy and identify key directions and key industries for this year and for next year as well. As for strategy, we identify for us mono-company strategy with single sales center and with unified quality standards. Also, we focus on industry experts, which can help us to be more effective in terms of operational things, in terms of quality, etc., etc. And also digital transformation as a key to reduce, let's say, paperwork and to stop virus as well. And also we are focused on direct communication with shippers, direct communication with our top customers to keep our long-term partnership. As for industries, we see actually healthcare, e-commerce, high-tech, and also food stuff. Also, during this time, we proposed kind of new service for the markets. It's clean air freight service, including 3 points. It's actually clean crew, clean aircraft, and clean cargo handling, which is for us, it's really important. And even some official, let's say, government regulators were in contact with Volga-Dnipro Group to understand what kind of measure we as a group implemented already to make cargo transportation more safe and to stop spreading virus. Also, I would like to step in Volga-Dnipro Group measures to make sure that we have clean aircraft and clean crew. So actually we implemented as mandatory using personal protective equipment for our crew and also for our ground staff to make sure that our staff will be on safe side. And for sure, from April until June, when we saw huge demand for our service, we had to make this possible. And if in case we had, let's say, some crew or some ground staff with COVID positive tests, it means that some, let's say, people who was in contact with this person should go to quarantine, and it was kind of limitation for our operational capabilities. And to avoid it, we actually implemented this test, where we implemented protection, etc., etc. It was really important for us, and it was kind of challenge for us. So air cargo industry these days, I mean, from April until June, it was high opportunity for business, but at the same time, higher risks for personnel and for operational capabilities. Going back to measures, so that's why we implemented regular COVID tests for our flight and ground staff to make sure that everyone is on the safe side and everyone is healthy. Also, next, clean cabin, we also implemented regular aircraft disinfection in each airport after going back to Russia. So it was also for us very important to make sure that virus not spreading through cabin, through cargo, etc., etc. And also at that moment of time, we were focused on clean charters and on charter services to satisfy need of our customer for transportation and personal protective equipment, and also ventilators and all cargo related with health care industry. So I think that's it. I highlighted challenges. I highlighted also our forecast and our vision for next 2-3 months. So as I mentioned, this is our vision. But anyway, during this unpredictable situation, each airline, each industry, and each business should be more flexible than anywhere, or sorry, when anytime. So that's why let's see what will be next, and be ready for any scenarios to support needs of our customer. So thank you very much. Thank you.